CES 2021 is over, and let's have a look at some highlights of the biggest announcements from the show. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, also click the notification bell so you don't miss new videos, and if you find this video helpful and interesting, please click that like button. This is gonna help me a lot to grow my channel, and I appreciate it very much. Alright, without further ado, let's go get started. Let's go. Highlight number one will be Samsung Galaxy S21 lineup of smartphones. And yes, this is something that many people has been waiting for. And actually this announcement happened on the last day of the CES show. So let's have a look at what it has. Samsung has announced its new lineup of smartphones that include the Galaxy S21, S21 Plus and S21 Ultra. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is the company's newest flagship Android phone with a 6.8-inch display featuring a Quad HD Plus resolution, 3200 by 1440 and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. While in the past years you had to choose between the higher resolution or the higher refresh rate, you can finally get both across the entire Galaxy S21 lineup. The Samsung Galaxy S21 line is finally able to push high resolution and refresh rate at the same time thanks to the new Snapdragon 888 processor. The number of cameras has increased up to 4 now, one more than the last year. The main camera features a whopping 108 megapixel Pro sensor with a face detect autofocus. It captures extremely high resolution images with a 12-bit HDR photos, which offer 64 times more rich color data. You also get a dual 10 megapixel telephoto camera. Both of the telephoto cameras feature dual pixel autofocus and are optically image stabilized, but one offers a zoom of 3 times while the other one is 10 times. Combined they power the Galaxy S21 Ultra's 100x space zoom feature. And lastly, there is a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with a 120-degree field of view and dual pixel autofocus as well. All 4 cameras are capable of capturing 4K at 60 frames per second footage, and users can even switch between all of the different lenses while recording. And the front-facing camera has a whopping 40 megapixels with a 4K at 60 frames per second recording capability. Nvidia has announced GeForce RTX 3060 series graphic cards for desktops and new mid-range graphic cards to complement the RTX series lineup. It will be available in late February starting at the price of $329. Nvidia has also released its lineup of mobile processors that will be coming to the gaming laptops. These include the Ampere RTX 3080, 3070 and 3060. The company provided a quick look at 3 laptops across the RTX range, starting with a Lenovo Legion Slim 7, powered by the new RTX 3060 graphics card, which has a 1.3 times the power of the PlayStation 5. At 1080p, the laptop can reportedly achieve an average of 90 frames per second on ultra settings across multiple popular graphics-intensive games. The next step up comes in the form of ASUS G15, which is equipped with a 1440p panel and RTX 3070 mobile GPU. Nvidia states that its average performance at 1440p is 90 frames per second. Finally, Nvidia's high-end example is the Alienware M15, which comes packed with an RTX 3080 mobile GPU and 16GB of GDDR6 memory, and is capable of delivering over 100 frames per second on ultra settings across a range of games. Nvidia knows that this is the company's biggest launch ever. Those examples are just 3 of more than 70 gaming and studio laptops models that are in production. The hardware will be available from January 26th with the starting price of $999 for the RTX 3060 models. The Alienware M15 will be priced at $1999 with an Intel i7 CPU. The laptop range will feature a 3rd generation of Max-Q technology, including Dynamic Boost 2.0, Whisper Mode 2.0 for thermal management and resizable bar. Naturally, this being an RTX powered machines, DLSS will also be supported for applicable games. And if you want to know more in detail about the RTX series graphic cards that were released on the CES 2021, I got a link over here. You can check that as well, and also put a link in the description. Alright, let's move to the next one. And of course, one of the most remarkable announcements from the CES 2021 was AMD Ryzen 5000 mobile processors, which everybody was waiting for. AMD has announced its latest batch of Ryzen 5000 series mobile processors for laptops and gaming laptops. Bringing the Zen 3 core to mobile, AMD announced a trio of Ryzen 5000 processors, including the Ryzen 7 5800U, Ryzen 9 5900HX, and Ryzen 9 5980HX. Starting off with AMD's flagship Ryzen 7 5900U. It's an 8-core and 16-thread processor with a 4.4 GHz maximum boost clock. According to AMD, the Ryzen 7 5800U far outpaces Intel's latest 19th Gen Core i7 1185G7 by whopping 44% in Adobe Premiere video encoding and 39% in Blender 3D ray tracing. And what's more, AMD has announced a line of even higher-end HX series mobile CPUs unlocked for overclocking to bring desktop-like performance for mobile. The first HX series processor we'll see include the Ryzen 9 5900HX and Ryzen 9 5980HX. The Ryzen 9 5900HX is an 8-core, 16-thread processor with a 6.4 GHz boost clock and 20 MB of cache. The Ryzen 9 5980HX meanwhile features 8 cores and 16 threads, a 4.8 GHz boost clock and 20 MB of cache. AMD also teased that the first gaming laptops to feature RDNA 2, the architecture found in AMD's latest graphic cards, as well as the chips powering the Xbox Series X and Sony PlayStation 5, will be arriving in the first half of 2021. Though the company didn't say which specific GPU will be coming to the mobile, AMD showed off how a prototype can already run Dirt 5 at 60 frames per second even while it's being displayed with a 1440p resolution. Those are gonna be the top performance processors for laptops up to date, including the competitors versus Intel's 11th Gen H series, which we're gonna look next. And if you wanna have a deeper look at what AMD has announced on the CES 2021 about the Ryzen 5000 mobile processors for gaming as well as thin and light laptops, you can check it at the link over here. And now we're gonna move to the next one. Intel has announced their first 3 11th Gen H processors for the next gen gaming laptops. Starting with the Intel Core i7 11375H Special Edition, it's a 4-core, 8-thread processor with a maximum single-core boost of 5 GHz. Intel claims to outperform its competitors, including the AMD Ryzen 4800HS and 4900H, by 30% in single-threaded performance. Following with the Intel Core i7 11370H, which is also a 4-core 8-thread processor that hits a slightly slower 4.8 GHz turbo boost clock. Lastly, there is a more mid-range Intel Core i5 11300H CPU that surprisingly still offers as many cores and threads and still as quick as 4.4 GHz speed. But of course it's hard to say why they were comparing it to the last generation, to the Zen 2 architecture from AMD, because it doesn't make much sense. But when you compare apples to apples, I think it's gonna be a drastic change for that. Intel also teased even more 11th Gen H series processors that will come later this quarter, including an 8-core 16-thread chip. It promises an up to 5 GHz boost clock, 20 lanes of PCIe 4.0 for faster storage, and Intel Wi-Fi 6.E wireless. For the desktop CPUs, one of the first chips that were showed is an Intel Core i9 11900K. This chip features 8 cores, 16 threads, 20 PCIe 4.0 lanes, native 3200 MHz memory support, and the new Intel UHD graphics. More generally, this new 11th Gen architecture promises to deliver 19% of IPC improvement and a 50% better integrated graphic performance. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and move to the next one. ASUS has announced 3 HDMI 2.1 gaming monitors, ready for 4K 120Hz gaming experience. Starting with the biggest one, the ROG Swift XG43UQ is a 43-inch 4K gaming monitor with a VA panel and a 144Hz refresh rate. This monitor offers 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, so you'll be able to connect both your Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 to this display. You will also find one DisplayPort 1.4 with display stream compression, which essentially allows this monitor to push 144Hz experience at 4K. ASUS ROG Swift PG32UQ is the first 32-inch gaming monitor with HDMI 2.1 to take advantage of its 4K IPS panel with a 144Hz refresh rate. Better yet, it has 2 HDMI 2.1 ports plus one DisplayPort 1.4. ASUS ROG Swift PG32UQ also features a bright and vibrant panel that displays 98% of DCI P3 color space and hits 600 nit peak brightness. It also comes with the G-Sync and Reflex Latency Analyzer modules. Last up is the ASUS TUF Gaming VG28UQ L1A, a 28-inch 4K gaming monitor with an IPC panel, 144Hz refresh rate and 1 millisecond response time. ASUS has yet to set pricing for any of these monitors, but they should be available in the second quarter of 2021. Talking about the monitors, Acer has also released its own HDMI 2.1 gaming monitor. Nitro XV282KKV is a 28-inch 4K gaming monitor with an IPS panel, 144Hz refresh rate, FreeSync, and HDMI 2.1 support. The HDMI 2.1 display standard is what allows the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X to output 4K resolution at up to 120 frames per second or 8K up to 60 frames per second. The Nitro will be available in May with an MSRP of $899. So yeah, this is it guys for now. I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know in the comment section below if you find this interesting. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Also click the notification bell so you don't miss new videos. And please give it a like, it will help me grow my channels. I appreciate very much all of your support. If you have any comments, please leave in the comment section below. Thanks very much for watching. You can also check my other videos. I hope you have a nice day and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.